large explosion shook Gaza City early on Thursday, just hours after Israel pledged to keep pummeling the Palestinian militant group Hamas. Earlier, Hamas fired a barrage of rockets into Israel, targeting Jerusalem and Tel Aviv.
Darwin's Arch, a famous rock formation off the Galapagos Islands, has collapsed due to erosion. Images distributed by Ecuadorian officials show only the two stone supporting columns remain. The formation is found in the northern part of the archipelago and is considered a premier diving location.
Meanwhile, Turkey is calling on Muslim nations to mobilize against Israel in the ongoing conflict with Palestine.
At night, the mice are most active.
The aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
Meanwhile, after halting the Keystone Pipeline on his very first day in office, President Biden gave the approval for a controversial gas pipeline from Russia to Germany.
There is a ceasefire in the Middle East.
Just real quickly, why won't this committee have a hearing on this IP issue, which is of paramount importance? And just as importantly, why won't this committee, the only select committee in the United States Congress, have a hearing on the origins of the very virus that caused all this chaos over the last year, not only in America, but around the world?
It's a good looking vehicle too. Here's the interior, you can see that. And here's Action Joe behind the wheel taking it for a spin. Except there's something a little funny about this video. Biden's hand is on the wheel, but he's not actually driving. This particular vehicle has two steering wheels and it only looks like Joe is in control. It's actually being driven by the bloke in the seat next to him. When even his aides won't trust Joe behind the wheel on a closed motor circuit, why would we have confidence in him leading the free world?
Israel has targeted at least a dozen vessels bound for Syria, and mostly carrying Iranian oil out of concern that petroleum profits are funding extremism in the Middle East, U.S. and regional officials say, in a new front in the conflict between Israel and Iran.
The White House had proposed broad new tax information reporting requirements, and the Treasury Department said today that would include not just cryptocurrencies, but also crypto asset exchange accounts and payment services, and for businesses that receive crypto assets of $10,000 or more.
And so what the US is proposing is that there be one low global tax rate for companies around 15%.
So in your expert opinion, 100% this could not be changed in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think anybody is questioning the legitimacy of the presidential election. I think that is all over with.
So right here, when you see green, that is a successful intrusion, meaning they flip votes.
Right.
Red is unsuccessful in terms of flipping votes.
I asked you a very simple question. Was the election stolen or not?
I think there was a great deal of evidence of fraud and changing of the election laws illegally, and I think a thorough investigation is warranted.
So you're 100% that these are, everything on here is 100% accurate, correct?
As the data was collected.
So now we have absolute proof of absolute interference by China to switch our election from Biden to Donald Trump. And we have proven it with one of the government's own cyber experts, one of the best in his field, certified, validated every single thing that we've had in absolute proof. And we showed Democrats earlier in this film that said, you know what, these machines cannot be used because a foreign country can attack us and flip our election.
The election was not stolen, correct?
Look, Joe Biden's the president.
I know Joe Biden's the president. He lives at the White House. I asked you, is he the legitimate president of the United States, and do you concede that this election was not stolen?
They said this. But now you got to see this. Just the other day, like a week or so ago, Adam Schiff and Chris Krebs said this.
Willie Geist, good to see you this morning. Could you be more specific on China? I think people understand that China broadly is a threat, and I know this is what you'll be picking through at the hearing today. But if you're an American sitting watching this show right now, what is the most immediate threat that China poses?
Well, probably what would strike people most in the living room right now is that China has one of the most capable cyber hacking and cyber espionage capabilities.
Very simple question, please. Just answer.
Look, once the electors are counted, yes, he's the legitimate president.
Free and fair, legitimately elected Joe Biden, yes or no?
As you said, Jake, every election has some questions, and this one was no different. President Biden is the duly elected president of the United States.
Can you agree that it was a fair and free election and that Joe Biden was legitimately elected?
We saw the president inaugurated.
Can you unequivocally state that Joe Biden won the presidential election?
Yeah, Joe Biden is the president of the United States.
He won the presidential election.
So, 518,617 votes were switched from Trump to Biden in just those 19 intrusions. Okay?
Fairly and squarely put Joe Biden in the White House, yes or no?
President Biden is the president of the United States. He's the commander-in-chief.
Did he
we can
win
only
fairly
have
and
one.
squarely?
I think there were real issues with the election, but he won it.
And now you have here, explain what's going on here.
So this matches up to the number above, the 518, 617, and it's just broken out
by state. Okay, by state. So now these were all flipped. So they actually are double then.
They're double.
And then what does that do?
So if Trump goes down, Biden goes up. Essentially has to balance.
So does everyone understand that?
Yes, Joe Biden is the president.
Do you
He's
think he
in the White
legitimately
House.
won the election?
I have a lot of questions about the election, and there's nothing wrong with asking questions.
So we can all agree, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter, that China attacked our country with their cyber technology, and we are in the middle of the biggest national security threat ever.
Is Joe Biden the legitimate president of the United States?
Yes, Joe Biden was elected. He was inaugurated on January 20th. I stand by my vote to object on January 6th. I stand by the Texas lawsuit because I have serious concerns about how the election in November was carried out.